right. Well, I'm here today with Leah Fields-Nester, who is joining us with the Hyatt team in Charlotte. So, Leah, welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. So, tell us a little bit about where you're at right now and how you got there.
Okay. So I am the AGM at my hotel. So assistant general manager. And I've been in my position currently for going on 3 years. It'll be 3 years here in November. I started out as a night auditor in Savannah with Hyatt. I've been with Hyatt my entire career, which is great, and I hope to stay for even longer. And then I came to Charlotte to my location as a front desk host, was here for 2 years, was a breakfast supervisor, was a front desk supervisor, promoted out to the Grand Hyatt Atlanta as an AFOM, was there for 2 years, and then promoted back here to my current location at where I am now. So
awesome.
We'll see what the next steps are. Hopefully, I don't know. The future is open. It is bright.
I was going to say, it sounds like up. It sounds like every time you take a job, it's just up after that. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, so how are things going in Charlotte? How is, how's business going in Charlotte?
I mean, it's good. We are all very, thankful that we've got a lot of these businesses coming back. So, after, of course, peak pandemic, nobody was traveling. Everybody had travel restrictions. Charlotte is very finance heavy. So Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Truist, we've got Duke here. We've got a lot of huge businesses that were just like, stop travel. No one was in the office. Everyone was working remote. So that was a little bit, crazy for the entire city. Sometimes it was a ghost town down here. Like normally if you walk into lunch, you could see people, the streets were bustling, the business buildings were bustling, and you could literally walk through there peak pandemic and see maybe one or two people. But now everything is, fingers crossed, going back to normal. We've got concerts back. Rolling Stones are here tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, we got a lot of people here. I mean, basketball is coming back. Panthers are playing again. So, we are hopefully back to where, pre-pandemic levels. We could always use a little bit more improvement. We still got some of these big businesses that are half remote, kind of doing that fluid, sometimes in, sometimes out. But right. I think once people figure out what they're going to do, we'll be good to go. So.
Awesome. So how's occupancy at the Hyatt House?
It's pretty good. Our weekends are very busy. We get a lot of transient guests on the weekends. For a long time, again, like I said, while businesses were kind of working from home, we were getting a lot of our leisure guests during the week. Great. If they come, they come. We love it. So, and I think across the board, that's what everybody was saying, was a lot of our transient travel on our Tuesday, Wednesdays that we didn't normally see. So they were keeping us up during that week, which was really great. But now we've got some businesses coming back. So we're kind of seeing our normal format of our business Sunday to Thursday, and then our transient during the weekends. So those travel patterns are kind of evening themselves back out from where they were pre-pandemic.
That's awesome. I've talked to a lot of people where the Sunday through Thursday hasn't really come back as strong. And it's, a lot of businesses are relying on that weekend, that leisure travel. So to hear it's coming back in Charlotte, to have that Sunday through Thursday business, that's outstanding. Congratulations.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We are very excited about it. Very excited.
Well, so you said groups are returning to the city, concerts are returning to the city. How much of that do you all see at your hotel?
It depends on where they are. So where my hotel is located, we are right next to the Spectrum Center. So for any event that's happening at the Spectrum Center, the indoor concerts, our basketball games, things like that, we get a lot of that traffic. We are literally walk out our door, go down, not even a whole block, it's right there. Walk around the corner, it's right there. So we see a lot of traffic for those events. Things that happen at Bank of America Stadium, we're a little bit further away. So the Rolling Stones are at Bank of America today. We have a lot of people here that are going to that concert, but they're walking. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm here to see it. It's already been rescheduled. I'm not gonna not come. This is what I have to say. They're gonna walk. So we don't normally, I mean, we see a lot. It's like the compression that we get for that, but I think this concert's going to be huge. It's a lot of people down in this way, like considering how far away and how many other hotels are kind of up in that area. Like we're getting a pretty good traffic from that. So,
well, that's good to hear. I mean, I know a lot of hotels who would be killing for your occupancy right now, so that's outstanding.
I will take it. I'm gonna love it while we have it.
Awesome. So, the story of the last couple of months has been the Delta variant, right? Clearly, has it been impacting your business, or are you seeing it almost like a neutral effect where you are?
I think, and everybody kind of in the city was like, okay, Labor Day was kind of going to determine like where we were going to go, because most of the businesses were like, we're going to come back around Labor Day back in the office, but then Delta hit, and I was like, what are we going to do? But I think it's been pretty neutral. We haven't seen like any sharp declines from Delta variant like we thought we would have, which is great. I think, I think people were like, okay, well, you can still travel, but just be aware of like, there's mask mandates now. And then, we've got the vaccine out. So a lot of people, I think, are less wary about traveling. And so more companies are are more willing to let their people go back into the office, which has been good.
Awesome. So one of the other trends that's, obviously has surrounded the hospitality industry over the course of the last year and a half, has been labor, right? First it was, we had to let everybody go, right? In the industry. I mean, I remember sitting in my main area in my hotel. There were no guests, of course. And unfortunately having to let 90% of my team go, back in March of last year. And then, get a chance to hire people back, but only a few people. How are you guys doing on staffing at the Hyatt House?
We've been very fortunate. So like you said, we did have to let, some people go at the beginning. We've been very fortunate to get most of those people back. Like people we've reached out to and been like, hey, we're coming back. We're bringing people back. Most of them have been like, yeah, of course, bring me back. So I would say we were probably 98%. Like we're pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
I know. Right.
Well, that's outstanding. So I got to dig into that a little bit because, most people I've talked to, the bringing people back, most of their teams or not most, but a lot of their team is taking jobs in other industries, or they felt a little hurt and they didn't want to come back. What is it about your property or your leadership or your team that makes them want to come back the second you pick up that phone? What happened there?
We're awesome.
Naturally, besides that, but I mean, you're obviously.
I cannot really speak for other departments. I can only speak for my department. I have so I said that 98%, like 2 of the staff that I could like still have are mine. But it's fine. But I mean, it really is just, we like to make it a fun place to work. And so I think just getting that kind of, I don't want to say loyalty because it sounds like, I don't know. For me, like loyalty sounds a little bit like, oh, like you have to come back and work for us because, I don't know. Loyalty is such a weird thing. But I think when I picked up the phone and I said, hey, we're opening it back up, do you want to come back? And people were just like, yeah, I want to come back. It's so great. And like, I don't know. I try not to make my department and like my staff, I'd like to keep them engaged. I'd like to keep a positive environment. I just like to keep things pretty open and fresh. So, and I guess maybe just them feeling like I wasn't going to like give them a ton of stuff that was going to be outside of their realm of working.
Awesome. Okay. Because that's a pretty big.
I did have 2 people, like one of my girls, and I love her to death, and I'm so proud of her. She actually, during the pandemic, did online courses and is a massage therapist now. So like, that's one of the reasons I didn't get one of my other ones back. But I'm like, for the ones that didn't come back, if they went to another industry, I'm so proud of them. Like, that's what you wanted to do. Awesome. If you find yourself needing to come back, great. I am here for you. But I was able to pick up some other staff, and they've been wonderful. So.
That's outstanding. You know, one of the things you touched on there was just the fact that they're coming back and they're doing the jobs that they thought they were going to be doing. You know, I know during the pandemic, I think we all wore every single hat. I couldn't tell you. I think there was not a single day where you're not checking somebody in, cleaning a room, you know, putting away boxes, taking out the trash. I mean, that's like an everyday kind of thing during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were afraid that that was kind of the new normal. So it sounds like at your place, you know, people are back to doing what they thought they were going to be doing, and they've got their own lanes kind of right now.
Yes. Which is
Awesome.
good. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you know, I think that consistent staff has to be a huge piece of the next thing I want to talk about, which is
Yeah.
guest satisfaction.
Sure.
You know, I looked up the Hyatt House online, you know, just to familiarize myself, and I was blown away by the number, you know, the thousands of 4 and 5 star reviews. I couldn't find a single site where you're rated less than a 4.5, and on most of them you're a lot higher than that.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, if we looked at everything pre-pandemic and we just kind of forgot about that, right? And we're looking at what's happening now and what's going on down the road. What kind of things are you doing to create that kind of engagement with your guests as they're coming through? You know, knowing that everybody's a little bit more nervous when they're traveling, maybe a little bit out of sorts, maybe not sure what to expect. Like, what is your team doing to garner those thousands of great reviews?
So, you know, I don't think it's anything that we're doing differently now versus what we were doing before. It really is just engaging with your guests. And that's doesn't matter if you have a mask over your face or a barrier in front of you. Like, when they come in, does your voice sound like you're smiling? Like, I know if you have a mask over, you know, you can't see your face, but does your voice sound excited? Does your voice sound engaged? Or are you just talking like whatever? And just, you know, finding out why people are here. You know, what brings you into the city? And a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to get out of my house because I was in my house for 18 months. Well, that's great. Like, and then we go, let me tell you what's open, what's there to do around here. I mean, we have a little like newsletter that has like our hotel information on the front of it, and then on the back of it is like local restaurants you can walk to. Like, here's where the locals are hanging out. Like, light rail information, museums, like sports stuff. Like, here's stuff that you can do in the city, even if you're from Charlotte. If you've not been up here, here's some real easy stuff to go do. You know, people are celebrating anniversaries or birthdays or things like that. Our front desk supervisor, he is so great with things like that. He's been a concierge for like 20 some odd years, so he is a font of information for people. And he knows a lot of people in the city. And so, like, if somebody says, hey, I'm here for my anniversary, he'll pick up the phone and be like, hey, I got some people here for their anniversary. Can we get a reservation for them? And then boom, we've created an experience for a guest. So, I mean, for our normal guests, that's kind of what we do. We just keep up that same energy as we did before, like engaging with them and keeping them excited. We've got our loyalty tier, we're the Hyatt, we're with our elite tier members. We do little like welcome boxes. I know you are not doing this, but they're like, we put little like candies, like little truffles in a box with a little thank you sticker and a handwritten note. I mean, it's really small like that. I just write a note. I personally write the notes. I put my card on it and it says, hey, thanks for staying with us. You know, we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you back. If it's a regular stay, let us know if you need anything. And then boom, you've got a point of contact if something goes wrong in your room. It's just making sure, I think, one, that people know that we're excited to have them. And then making sure that post check-in, we are still available for you. You know, not just we're checking you in and we're done with you. We're checking you in. We are still here for you 24 hours a day, because that's what we're here for.
I love it. You know, I've worked at hotels all over the country, and pre-pandemic, what you just said was like the normal for what everybody did, right? Like, it was just understood that you created these touch points, you created the engagement, you went above and beyond, and that was how you created guest satisfaction, right? Yeah. And, you know, post-pandemic, we went from this abundance mindset pre-pandemic where it was do everything you can to engage people, to pandemic, which is we don't have any people. We can't find truffles anymore. You know, we got no stickers. We can't do any of that. Are you kidding me? I'll be lucky if I could just check somebody into a clean room, right? And so how have you kept your team out of that scarcity mindset and built into that abundance mindset where, yes, we may not have exactly what we had yesterday, but we can find it, or we can do something new, or we're still going to engage. Like, how do you keep your people thinking like that, even when everybody else around them is telling them they don't have anything?
It really is just finding new things. So if I were to go to the store and they're like out of truffles, okay, well, do you have peppermints? Do you have, I don't know, something else? Like what, I mean, it's just finding new ways. I mean, to do things. Like I don't, yeah. And I am constantly out with my team. Like they have free reign at the front desk. Like I'm just here for help. If they need anything, I say, you guys have the power to do whatever you need to do. Like that's on you. If you feel like you can't do it, come find me. But if you can do it and you want to do something nice for a guest, let me know. If you tell a guest, if they say they like giant cupcakes from this bar down the street, okay, I'm happy to walk down to the bar down the street and get them a giant cupcake for something. It's not a lot of like, it doesn't take a lot of time and energy to do that. So I think for me, just letting them know, hey, what do you need from me? Like, what can I do? Like, how can I make you, or how can I get you the tools you need? What do you need? Let me know. I'll go do it. I'll figure it out. Amazon is great. Target, my favorite. Like I'm there. Like I don't mind spending a little bit of money because I mean that's what we have to do. We're gonna make it up. I mean,
I love that. So obviously you've got that energy and you've got that focus. How is that getting down to the next level or the level below that? Like how are you making them understand that, we're all here to service the guests. I'm here to help you, but you have to do it. Like, how are you getting that mentality out there to them?
Consistency. Literally every single day I'm out there. Like I go out there when I get in the morning, I go talk to my team. I say, hey, what's up? What do we got today? Because I get here after they do. Like, how are we looking for arrivals? How are we looking for departures? Like anything I need to know about. And, they tell me A, B, and C. And I say, okay, what do you need? What do you need? I'm not even kidding when I tell you, it is literally me just going and talking to them. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? How can I help you? What do you need? Let's get on it. And I don't want them to ever feel like I am not here for them. And so I think my thing is just consistently saying, hey, I'm here for you. How can I help you? What do we need to do today? And sometimes I'll have a idea that pops up in my mind and I'm like, oh, let's do this, guys. Like, what do you think about this? It could be something outrageous. Like, I was like, you guys want to go on a Segway tour? And people were like, a Segway tour? We're not going on a Segway tour. I don't want to ride a Segway. And I was like, well, we got to think of something to do for this next front desk meeting. Right. And then, well, you don't want to go on a Segway tour. You better tell me something. And then that gets their juices flowing too. So it's
Segway tour. Your insurance provider just freaked out. Your insurance provider just gone.
But it's just stuff like that. Like start with like really kind of outrageous things that they're going to be like, no.
That's awesome.
Put some things of their own. And that seems to work pretty well to keep them hyped.
That's awesome. It's funny because it obviously a lot of people's mindset has changed, whether it's, the way that they treat hotels, the way that they treat restaurants. What are you doing with those negative guests? Because again, I look through thousands of reviews of yours and I don't see those reviews where they're like, straight up attacking your hotel or being negative about your hotel. Cause I can find those at almost every hotel. And people just kind of pass it off as well. It was that guest. How are you avoiding those or how are you taking care of those guests?
We're not avoiding them. They're here. And I think everybody is kind of, like you said, having that. But it really is kill them with kindness. Because at the end of the day, what are we going to do? Are we going to argue with the guest? Are we going to get into a fight in the middle of the lobby? No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to argue. We're not going to yell. We're not going to get into a shouting match. We're not going to be disrespectful to our guests. So if that's the energy they want to give us, have a great day. Have a great day. Is there something I can assist you with? Have a great day. It really is just how do I solve your problem? If you don't want me to help you, then have a great day.
Right.
Right. And that's when I'm like, I'll go out there and I'm like, is there something that I can help you with? And I mean, sometimes guests just want to vent, which is totally fine. We're here to listen.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm here to listen. If all you want to do is vent to me, 100%, we'll step to the side. Let me know what's going on. And then I can either help you fix it. Obviously, like if it's an issue that happens on property that we can fix, I'm going to attempt to fix it. But I mean, for the most part, what can I do? What could I do but tell you to have a great day and let you do your thing,
Absolutely. So, when we were talking offline here, one of the things you shared with me is that you're a second generation hotelier, right? Your father is in hotels for the same brand. That's very exciting. I'm a second generation hotelier as well. What do you love about this industry that keeps you here while so many people are saying, go find something else? Like, what is it that excites you and keeps you in the industry?
Oh my gosh, it is. This is going to be such a cheesy answer. I feel like everybody in hotels says this, but it really is meeting new people and getting these new experiences. Like it's something new every day. It's either a new person every day, or I'm learning a new system, or I'm learning maybe how to do something that I wouldn't have normally done. I am, hearing from other people like in the industry that are like, oh, I got to do this really cool thing, or I got to go to this really cool place. It's like having the opportunities to go travel to new hotels that I probably wouldn't have done if I wasn't working in hotels, because let's face it, hotels, you get those discounts and you're like, hey, like going, that's a huge benefit. Like, I'm going to Tahoe in November, to Lake Tahoe in November. I've been out to the West Coast one time. So like, I'm really excited about that. We're going to go like snowboarding and skiing, and like, I don't think I would be doing that if I didn't work in a hotel. So like having the options to like go to these different places and not like break the bank.
Love it.
But yeah, for the most part, it is just the newness of the day every day. Like it's always something. Like I said, we've got Rolling Stones coming into Charlotte today. So, I mean, the people that are coming in have all these like stories of how they like fell in love with the music, or like how many times they've gone to a concert. And it's just like, it's stuff you wouldn't normally hear, just like going to the grocery store. So, or like if you were like working at a bank or something, like no offense to people who work at banks.
Because you have a lot of those people in Charlotte, right? Like we don't want to offend those guys.
We don't want to offend those guys. But no, I have a friend who works at a bank, and the stories that she tells are hilarious too. But I think just hearing the different like stories, the location, people's lives, like I think it's just great. I love hearing about it. I love hearing stories. Like I will sit down with my mom and be like, tell me something from your childhood. Like, give me a new story. That's the thing I love. So having to hear it from like people who are coming in for different events is always really interesting to me. So
that's outstanding. So you came up through the ranks, just like a lot of people did. You started at the night audit position, which is, one of the worst places to start because you have to change your whole body chemistry to make it work, right? It's a fun experience. It's a great job, but man, you have to make a lot of changes to make that one successful.
Oh yes, I got very lucky when I was in Savannah because my husband was going to SCAD, and one of his classmates was actually like the night manager at the Starbucks down the road. So I would like go to the Starbucks and be like, hey, like right before they close, and he'd be like, hey, here's all these like chocolate cake and coffee that we were gonna throw out. I was like, yeah. Give me
So if you are talking to somebody who's talking to you about trying to get into this industry or thinking about becoming a leader in this industry, what kind of advice are you giving them today? Because I think we have a lot of people that are considering coming back or considering getting into the industry. What kind of advice are you giving them as new leaders or new potential leaders as they get into the industry?
Yeah. So with my last couple of interviews, actually, I always like to tell people that hotels can be a lifetime career. They are like if this is what you want to do, it is a lifetime. You could get into a hotels and like you could just bounce from brand to brand to brand to brand to brand for your career. And I say what I tell them is in the first year, be thinking about if that's what you want to do. Because a lot of times people get into hotels and they're like, oh, I'm just here for a job. It's whatever. But I'm like, if it is something that you want to pursue, 100%, if you get in here and you're thinking this is going to be great, one, I like to tell people, just let me know. Like, just tell me. I am here, like for me personally, I am here to help people succeed. And if that means that you want to be a manager one day, let me know. I'll train you on the things that I do. I don't mind. Somebody had to train me. If you want to come and be a front office manager or an AGM, let me know. I'm happy to have you sit in my office. I'm happy to show you how to do invoices. I'm happy to show you how to coach and counsel. Like, you tell me what you would like to do. I'm going to help you get there. So it really is just, you just have to start. You just got to start. Like, I can't, that is the first rule. Just start.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So besides attending a Rolling Stone concert and walking into the front door of the Hyatt House,
yeah,
Leah, how can people find you, or how can people find out about your hotel?
Google. The internet is a wonderful source. Just Google Hyatt House Charlotte Center City. If you're looking to go to a basketball game, you can just put hotels near Spectrum Center, near Arena. We're gonna pop up because we're so close to it. I don't know. You could call us.
Okay. And how can people find out about you? How can people connect with you?
LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn. Or even if you just call the hotel and ask to speak to Leah, they will transfer you to my line. I do not have a phone screening service. If you call the front desk and say, hey, may I speak to Leah? They're going to transfer you right back in or pick up the phone.
Love it. I love it.
I am accessible. I am accessible to people within reason.
Within reason, of course.
Reason for sure. But yeah, I don't have a secretary screening my calls, writing this down. Hey, this person called. No, I'll talk to you. Just
awesome.
Call me. Find me on LinkedIn, message. I'll answer you.
I love it, Leah. This has been a fun conversation. Congratulations to you and the team at the Hyatt House. I mean, it sounds like business is back where you are. It sounds like guest service is the conversation you all have all of the time, and clearly it's making an impact. So congratulations to you and your team, and hopefully we can do this again sometime. I can't tell you, I don't think I've smiled this much in a very long time. So thank you very much.
No, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Leah, and you have a great day. Okay.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye.